Okay. I'm Sisi. May I ask you a few questions?
Yes.
So, what bring you here today?
Well, I was asked by Angela to join in today's symposium. I'm the Executive Director of TAPA, the Toronto Alliance for Performing Arts, and we represent over 150 professional and non-professional theater, dance, and opera companies throughout the city of Toronto. So I am one of those intangible cultural heritage keepers, if you will.
Oh, great. May I know your name?
Yes, my name is Annemieke Wade. Sorry about that. Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. My name is Sisi, so I'm a reporter of this event. Yes, I'm also a Canadian novel writer. I published 3 books in Canada. So, yeah, nice to meet you. Okay, so what do you think is special for this arts exhibition? 哎，你们能轻一点吗？不好意思。Okay, hi, please.
What do I think is special about this art exhibition? Well, I think what's really interesting is that here in Canada, we come from so many different identities. So many people have immigrated to this country. I am actually an immigrant to this country, even though I don't look like one. And we come with a lot of cultural assets. Many of us are keepers of those assets. And I think what's really exciting about today is the discussion around how do we continue to bring our heritage into a modern age or into a modern day and still maintain a lot of the cultural aspects that we knew and grew up with and that are really rooted in our identity.
So what do you feel the connection about today's event and with your previous experience?
For myself, or as a person who sort of keeps the.
I think for yourself.
For myself, well, this is funny. To be very honest, as a white person, this is something I struggle with because I sometimes feel like I have a lack of identity. I am often just a white person, but my heritage is, or my ancestors have been American for as long as I have known. On my grandfather's side, on my mother's grandfather's side, they were immigrants who came over on the boat after the Mayflower. And then on my father's side, there's a lot more English and Irish, and they came to America a little bit later than that, but have been pretty American all their lives. Then when I came to Canada, I come with this sort of like American heritage, but to define what that is not really a thing. Still in America, people identify with what their ancestry is. So in my family, it would be a little German, it would be a little...
Did you do the ancestry, like a DNA test? Did you do that?
I'm sorry, did I do
ancestry?
A DNA test?
Yeah.
No, I actually
you didn't?
My mother did, and I figured, all right, well, there, it's
Okay.
done for me. And then my father did as well, and we found there was a little bit of Portuguese in his family, which was a surprise for us.
Okay.
But my mom, everywhere she thought she was from, she is from. So a little English, a lot of German. Pennsylvania Dutch is her heritage. So I have glommed on to a lot of like the Pennsylvania Dutch heritage because it is the most recognizable, and it was sort of the most easily accessible for me growing up.
For me listening, because my husband's Italian, and he did ancestry at the end, and he found out he has 95% Italy, right? And then has little bit of French and German, very pure European. But he was being in Canada 3 generations. He originally from Winnipeg. Yeah, so for me, very funny is what you bring your interest with Chinese arts.
Yeah.
Why is Chinese arts for you?
For me, what's interesting about Chinese art? Well, it's older than most things we are used to seeing in North America.
Yeah, 5,000 years,
from
right?
An indigenous culture, we just don't have that same sort of history at all in my experience. So to see, especially Chinese art and the teachings, it is based in a heritage that has been passed down orally and sometimes in pictures and dance and music in ways that are really beautiful and really sacred. I feel there is a lot of care taken in understanding that ancestry and making sure that ancestry continues to live in the modern day.
So
that's really exciting to me.
Did you try to write learning how to write the Chinese?
Not really. My sister actually is married to a Japanese man.
Oh.
And so I've had a little more experience with the kanji of Japanese just through my sister's experience. But I myself have not had the visceral opportunity to do as much of the actual writing and the sitting down. I think I grew up doing a lot of dance as a child, so I experienced a lot of art cultural art through dance. For me, it was New England style folk dancing, but with that, we did a lot of festivals where we would have the opportunity to meet with cultures or meet with kids. I did a lot of dancing when I was a child, so other children from different cultures, and that was always. And what I loved most about that is there was always a way to share a language even if we didn't speak the same language.
Yes, yes. So the Chinese character, like me, recently I have a program was using English to teach Canadian how to speak Chinese. Mm-hmm. So one of the methods I use is I found some of the Chinese letter, right? And they are actually, from the letter, you can guess what that meaning is. Just look like a painting and you know what that words is. And then just in different sounds, right? Yes. So pronunciations. That's how I teach the Canadian how to remember that words, remember the meaning. Yeah. And one more thing is when you mention your sister married with a Japanese, right? I was in Tokyo 5 years. I was a translator. Yes, before I came to Canada. Right. So because Chinese language and Japanese language, especially I'm from Shanghai. Shanghai people speak languages they don't raise their tongue, and similar as the Japanese. Japanese languages they don't raise their tongue when they talk, right? So when I first learned Japanese language, I can see the words because mostly 90% of the Japanese the language is from China, right? Original, they are heritage from China. Yeah. That's why I don't need to learn, and I can understand, but I cannot speak. That's why I focus on how to speak, how to learn to talk Japanese as the same languages. Yeah. But for me, very easy to learn Japanese. That's why I was very fast to become a translator. That's so cool. But it's very interesting is that's the interest I think mostly maybe attract Canadian to connect with the Chinese arts, right? Especially with those. Yeah. Okay. So thank you so much for talking with you. My pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You.